Is this thing on? It is on. Welcome, listeners, to the Extra Inch Live. My name's Windy, and I'm joined by my sidekick and best friend, Bardi. Hello, Bardi.
Hi, Windy.
And our tactics guy, and a man who's prepared a 50-slide PowerPoint presentation. It's Nathan Lee Clark. Hello, Nathan.
That's me.
And just like last time, Nathan gets a huge round of applause. They're all here for Nathan, basically. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming down on a very wet Monday night where the vibes are terrible around our club at the moment.
Hey.
We appreciate you coming out. Should we just do a quick vibe check, actually? Let's get some hands in the room. How many people are still Ange in? Oh, blimey, that is a...
Who do you think turns up to a live show, though, realistically, mate?
And how many people are adamantly Ange out?
Wow. You are so outnumbered, mate.
There's a lot of people who have bottled that answer. I'm sure of it.
Oh, yeah. You need to ask those who are unsure.
Yeah.
Okay, who didn't put their hand up? Yeah, there's a few in the middle. There's a few in the middle. Dan, you're the most Ange out person I know. What are you doing? Bardi, you made the trip to Villa Park yesterday.
Yeah, it was a long way to go. And I've always wanted to go there because it's a really classic old football stadium, and then it's beautiful. But then I just wanted to leave immediately after 1 minute because of what happened. But it's amazing the kind of anti-Levy sentiment that's going around at the moment. Because I thought it was bad, but it was really bad with the away fans, and I was very surprised by it. And I thought Postecoglou did an incredible job of energizing the purple and gold lot with that performance.
What time did you get home last night?
I got home at 11 o'clock. So my wife and I are running a marathon in March. So I went out and I ran 30 kilometers that morning. And then I went to Villa Park, and I'm just too old for this. I'm too old for this shit. I can't keep doing it. But it was a good day, man. It was a good day.
Really outrageous kickoff time. Just unnecessary kickoff time for the travelling supporters. Just frustrates the hell out of me. Got a few thank yous to do. Thank you so much to Rich, who's helped put this night together in collaboration with the Black Prince Trust. It's very much appreciated. And to the venue, the pub, it's a lovely pub. We're really glad to be here. Thank you so much to everyone who's helping us out. Rich's team on the door have been amazing. And Gabriel helping us with the sound tonight, very much appreciated as well. Thank you to all those people. A little round of applause for everyone, please. Thank you so much. We've also got a competition running tonight, which Bardi's going to tell you a bit about.
Yeah, so Gareth Dace is here. Gareth is an author. He just wrote the book, Is Gascoigne Going to Have a Crack? And it's about Spurs in the 90s. And I was going to say it was like when we were really bad, but it's kind of like how we are now. But I'm going to ask everyone a question, and it's going to be which player from the 90s would save our current season? So have a little think about that, and in the second half, put your hand up, and if you agree or you win us over, that person will win a free copy of Gareth's book. So which player from the 90s would save Tottenham's season? Wait, you can't shout out answers. There is rules to this game. Later, second half.
Jot that down.
It's not. I have to. It's not Darren Anderton, though. Come on. How is he going to high press if Van der Ven and Romero and the rest of them can't survive? Anderton wouldn't last 2 minutes.
Another person in the medical bay.
Yeah, exactly.
So alongside the competition, we've got Nathan doing some analysis in the second half later. Very excited to see what he's pulled out the bag. And we've also obviously got a big Q&A, so think up some questions for the second half. We're also going to talk about the Villa game, unfortunately.
We're not done. That wasn't just Bardi. How was your day out?
No, we do have to do some actual conversation about it. We did have some questions. One of them, so this is from Chris McGuigan. He said, I cannot imagine I'm the only person emailing in about our midfield. It's the one area where we're not ravaged by injuries, yet it seems to be where the majority of our problems are currently stemming. I'd love for Nathan to explain the intended structure and tactics there. What is Ange's approach to that part of the pitch? So I just walked over to have a quick chat with Nathan, and he was talking to his friend John McKenzie. You can imagine what they're talking about. Yes, Spurs' pressing structures. Nathan, what do you think about our midfield? What's Ange trying to do?
Okay, so Initially, what Ange is trying to do is a funky little trick with the fullbacks where the two central midfielders push up really high in possession and are attackers, and then the fullbacks become the midfielders. But what happened is all our defenders died horribly, and so we started to keep our fullbacks back more like fullbacks, and then there was no one left in midfield. But then, to be fair, that's just more of a rest defence thing, a transition thing. Whereas what you saw for the opening goal against Villa was just our settled out of possession. And the truth is, there's nothing too much structurally different there now than there was before. You can go back to Vardy's goal at the beginning of the season, and there's similar problems there. The thing is that most of the time in the beginning section of the season is we just ran teams over with our intensity. And so, for the Villa goal, you see Porro push way, way up to try and pick up the left back or the left centre back for Villa. Sorry, Digne. Okay, and then he doesn't turn the ball over there, and so then suddenly he's way out of position. And so that structural issue, or those structural issues, those ideas that start with us overcommitting the number of attackers we have onto the opponent's back line, that's been there the whole time. And if we continue with Postecoglou long term, it'll probably be there next season too.
But how can you have structural issues after a minute?
Because that's what you arrived with, right? Because because that's just how we play. And again, the idea is that it doesn't matter too much because we just dominate physical duels and we just are so intense and so energetic and so early that we don't allow those systems to develop. But because it's so, especially at the elite level, a moment of hesitation because you're not at fitness, a moment of just being the second person to the ball just kills us in the system and leaves us with our midfield way out of position. Yeah.
I feel like it was as rough as it's been yesterday, the midfield.
We only lost by a goal.
But there were so many times where,
Liverpool kicked the shit out of us, man. I don't even remember that.
This is not a particularly great Villa midfielder up against.
Sure.
Tielemans is someone who definitely wouldn't get in an Ange team, doesn't have the legs for it.
Oh, God, no.
But watching him pass through the match yesterday, he ran the game, essentially. So when our press wasn't effective, he was able to slide balls between the spaces that we left behind, exposing us. And we'd only lost by one goal, but it could have been many more if they'd taken advantage of the opportunities, the positional dominance they had.
Yeah.
Nathan, tell me, how do we fix it? What do we do?
We have a squad of 25 players who are all first team quality and also all sort of athletic standouts, I guess.
Not asking for too much. I think so. The thing for me, so I appreciate the first goal. Porro makes some kind of crazy pressing decision.
Right, but that's not him being.
No. It's not an individualistic decision. It's instruction.
Yeah.
But he's doing it late. So my problem is that Bentancur then moves over to the right flank to cover for where Porro is moved. Bentancur is on number 6. He's the last line of defence before Villa are approaching our centre-backs. He's gone. Bergvall then tries to cover round.
Yeah.
He can't. He does. He gets there. He kind of recovers, but it leaves then a space for Rodgers to receive the man that Bergvall would have had he not been in that position. So I feel like there's an issue with the structure of the press, and then there's an issue with the individual player decision-making within that structure as well. If Bentancur hadn't made that move and had just sat in front of a defence, we'd have had another layer of protection and it might have been fine. So how much of this is down to the players and how much of it is down to the system?
I mean, maybe Bentancur could have made better decisions in that play, but again, for the most part, he's got to cover a lot of ground and got to deal with Porro's positioning, right? So it's all systemic because a lot of the issues are in fatigue, and this is where you caught me talking to John earlier, and where I for the most part I agree with John. There are these structural issues, but defending is hard, right? And so again, if I'm talking to John about pressing, there are about four teams in the world who John's like, wow, yeah, they're really good at possession, and everyone else has these like huge obvious flaws. But like, if you're trying to keep a Premier League level team quiet for 90 plus minutes, that's a really tough thing to do. And so you can look at a low block team and say, well, they surrender all this space and you can just keep pressuring them. You can look at a mid block team and say, there's not enough pressure if you're looking for a diagonal ball over the top of their defensive line, et cetera, et cetera. So it's of course there are shortcomings to the way that we play, but there are shortcomings to the way that any team play in and out of possession for the most part. And we can, like, which is not to say you can't be critical, because like those flaws are like glaringly obvious right now. But they are massively exacerbated by the injury crisis. They're also maybe the injury crisis is caused by the structures too, right? So it's a loop of misery.
So there was some reporting that we do want to go ahead with the Johnny Cardoso signing in the summer.
Johnny.
Really?
Yeah. So he is a dedicated number 6. He is very much a tackles, interceptions, blocks player. He is a blood and thunder, do it all off the ball
Yeehaw!
player. So what you would be gaining there would be off-ball benefits.
Yeah.
What you'd be losing...
You two look down on that kind of stuff, but I'm happy to have a player that can tackle. We went to Liverpool, man, and Liverpool just wandered through our midfield. So I'm more than happy to have some American guy who just goes around kicking people for a little bit. At least let's get through this nonsense with some tackles. And then we could do all the pressing and the tactics and the passes. And I can't believe I've turned into like proper football man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but just today. Normally I'm all about the tactics and XG. But I've just this last couple of weeks, Spurs have turned me into a proper football man. I'm watching the Liverpool game, like, do some tackle him. And it's really upsetting, and I hate being this person, Wendy, and it's really upset me. I'm so tactical.
I don't disagree with you about Cardoso, by the way. The concept of someone who can come in and actually...
It's a good concept, right?
Make some tackles, great, we need that.
Great.
But that's one part of the plan, right? So, like, at the moment, we're struggling to possess the ball, so we need to win it back. Yeah. The idea going forward is that we will have the ball a lot. So you need someone in that number 6 role who's good at having the ball a lot, who's good at progressing it. That's the stuff that Basuma's good at, in theory.
In theory.
The stuff he's really bad at
everything else
is the off-ball stuff. And that's why we're suffering at the moment, because we're needing to do more off-ball stuff.
I would like to say I thought Tel was really nice against Villa. I really enjoyed Tel. I really enjoyed his goal. I enjoyed his energy, and the things he was attempting was nice. And compared to like his performance and Son, there was something about him which had some energy. So I really enjoyed Tel. I think he's a positive to take from me. I don't want to be all doom and gloom. Bergvall has his moments as well. Kinski was terrible in that first goal, but he was good the rest of the game. So there's really nice things as well. And you're right, it's only one goal. I'm less disheartened about the Villa game than I am about the Liverpool game. The Liverpool game really hurt me.
Talk to me more about Tel. What did you like about his performance specifically?
I like the way he moved.
Hey.
He moves really nicely. He's strong, he's fast, scored a beautiful goal. Maybe he tries a bit too much. Maybe he's attempting to be like a better player than he is right now. But I do like his attitude. It's good.
Okay, I was very confused as to why he started on the left and Son started through the middle. I could not get my head around that decision. It seemed very strange. And as soon as he moved into the middle, I thought, okay, we have got a player here. He looks like he's all right. And that finish was really fantastic. Delicate, outside of the right foot, into the far corner. Looked like he'd done that a million times before. How are you feeling about Danso?
I like Danso as well. I was kind of sad that half-time we took off Mikey Moore. I don't know if there was something that had happened. He was injured, or I thought it was bad to take him off and almost like pin the blame on him. I would have been all right with Son coming off and giving Mikey Moore the rest of the game. Moore, Tel, Kulusevski, see how that went.
I think he was struggling with the physical intensity of the game, and he was again. What game was it before? He struggled with Brentford. He was struggling with the physicality with Brentford even more so, I think. So, I think because we know that because he's 17, you can afford to take him off at halftime without it being like a criticism of him. So,
but it was an easy choice. That's what I didn't like about it.
Okay.
Taking Son off would have been a real statement, and taking Moore seemed like the easy option. But Danzo, I thought Danzo was good against Liverpool. I thought he was fine against Aston Villa. He's much better on the ball than I thought he was.
he's fine. I don't know. I have just like no real strong feelings about Danzo. He's like a replacement, Premier League replacement level centre back. He can, it's good. It's fine.
I think that's kind of what we need right now, though.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
A steady Eddie, someone who makes good decisions, is quite straightforward with his defending. If it needs to go long, it will go long. If it needs to go into the stands, it will go into the stands. But he also is relatively cultured and can play some nice passes too. Plus has the physicality to make the recovery runs, battle strong centre forwards. There's something to work with there for sure. Like the improvement on Dragusin is enormous. Enormous.
Yeah.
Agreed. Bardi Kinski, your goalkeeper,
My keeper,
is getting a lot of stick.
Pelters.
it was a bad goal. It was a soft goal. He's always going to let in soft goals. He's always going to make mistakes. But I do think this is not just me defending my Vicario take. I quite like him, and I think there's some potential in him, but he does need to iron out these goals that go straight through him.
Enormous galaxy brain. By letting in the first shot, Villa got really sort of over-enthusiastic about their long-distance shooting and killed multiple promising attacks by shooting from outside the box. So really kept that a nice close one for us by tricking them into long shots.
He made some good one-on-one saves. He kept us in the match.
Yeah, again, by deliberately letting the first goal in.
So I saw a couple of takes that Kinski isn't actually that good on the ball. How do we feel about that?
Compared to who?
Other goalkeepers.
No, I think he's better than the average goalkeeper, surely.
He's better on the ball than Vicario, I think.
He's better on the ball than Dragusin.
Yeah, I can't disagree.
We can't keep taking every opportunity to dig into a guy who's just
done. We need some joy in our lives, Nathan. Give me something. I think Kinski is performing like a 21-year-old goalkeeper.
Yeah, man, yeah.
You know, I think there's a lot of leeway that we can afford to him in a very difficult situation, and this will all go down as good experience for him in the long run.
Do you know what the worst thing about the Villa and the Liverpool result is? Is that everybody keeps talking to me about Højbjerg all the time. They're like, Højbjerg would have fixed all our problems. I'm like, come on, man. Just because he's maybe a little bit less shit than Basuma is doesn't mean he's a good player. And that's all. I thought I was gone past the Højbjerg stuff, but my mentions have just come alive again.
You want a guy to run around and stick some tackles in,
He
right?
can't run around, though. He would have made a difference at Liverpool. Maybe he would have just been flapping a lot more and shouting at players a little bit more.
Pointing.
That's it. Pointing, yeah. Little Slobosly's gone. That's all he would have done.
I think he'd just be there stood in the way, and that would actually be quite helpful.
Maybe like a cork. Yeah, maybe.
I'm not against that.
Jack
Bring back
Cork.
Højbjerg.
No. If Højbjerg comes back, I quit.
Any other performances that stood out to you from the Villa game? Any bright spots in amongst the doom and gloom?
Spence was okay again, yay.
That's it, isn't it? It's Spence. Spence is the only one really that's offering anything of note.
If we had 2 or 3 Spences, we'd be all right. He's shocked me how good he is. He's such a good player, and he's just naturally brilliant, so relaxed. He just gets on with it. Fantastic player.
I can't disagree. I think he is kind of a playmaker from fullback, which is a huge compliment to him. I said a while back that I feel like he sets tempo for us. And I feel like when we're good again, because it will happen, we will be good again. When we're good again, Spence is going to be a big part of that. He's going to be a really big part of that. Knowing when to slow things down, speed things up, add some zip to a pass, commit a player, turn back. I think he's just a good decision maker and kind of feels the rhythm of a game really nicely, which is quite an underrated quality.
I've never seen a Spurs player play 5 different positions at Anfield and look really comfortable in all of them. He's the only one that's walking around at the moment with any credit in the bank.
Don't get me started on the idea of moving him to right wing. I really did not enjoy that. It was not my favourite. Right, we're going to invite Rich up now to say a few words about the charity we're supporting tonight.
Hi everyone. I'm Richard. I'm CEO of the Black Prince Trust. I'm also a Spurs fan, so I'm suffering along with the rest of you at the moment. Just tell you a little bit about the charity that supporting by being here tonight. So we're an independent charity. We manage a community and wellbeing hub. It's about 300 yards down the road from here. Together with our partners, we deliver more than 70 community sessions every week, free to the local community, and we run a food program. We distribute food that would go to waste through the Felix Project to the local community. We also have a training kitchen, which is run as a training kitchen for adults with autism and learning disabilities, and they also provide a free community meal service. Now, in the last year, across our sports and our food programs, we've engaged more than 3,000 local users. We've had more than 40,000 attendances at our programs. And the attendances range from 8 and 9-year-olds to 80 and 90-year-olds. So we really do provide access and provision for the whole community, most of which are from socio-economically disadvantaged backgrounds and from diverse ethnic communities. Now, I could go into greater depth about what we do, who we reach, why we do it, and that sort of thing. But firstly, I did that last time, and I think we've got a lot of familiar faces here. Secondly, I want to just talk about it in a way that maybe might resonate with some of you. So firstly, just want to ask if, like me, as a child, team sports, individual sports were really important to your personal development, to making friends, to your health and well-being. That's what we provide for young people who live locally, who may not have parents who have the money to pay subs, to pay cricket club memberships, tennis club memberships, buy rackets and buy bats and buy football boots, buy kit and all that sort of thing that I was lucky enough to enjoy when I grew up. We aim to make sure the social benefits of sport are available to everyone from a really young age. Secondly, if you, as an adult, or anyone you know has ever struggled in some way and needed help, or you know somebody has for whatever reason, it might be depression, stress, anxiety, might be financial pressures, might be addiction, whatever it might be that people are struggling with, we're there to help those people too. We use the power of sport to help them get back on their feet and to thrive through various mental health interventions working with partners. Similarly, if you or anyone you know has ever found sport hard to access because of reasons related to the background, faith, culture, colour of your skin, disability, might be hidden or obvious, or sexual orientation or gender preferences, then we provide programs and a safe and accessible site for those people so they feel welcome, come and engage in sport, and we make sure there's clear and obvious signs that we're a very welcoming place. Lastly, if you've got older relatives who might be struggling with balance, mobility, creaking bones, perhaps people who used to be active and feel those days might be behind them, perhaps people who have lost people they care about and are feeling lonely, we have plenty on offer for them too, both to help their physical health and to help to build social connections and feel they're part of something. The beauty of what we do at BPT is we're there for everyone. We have so much for everyone. All the social health benefits of sport can be accessed by anyone in the community, whether 8, 9, 80, 90, even a 101-year-old we had signed up for a chair yoga session recently. If you would like to make a donation, then at the front we've got some QR codes, we've got some up machine. You can go on our website, you can do that. If you happen to work for a business that has CSR, ESG strands that support charities, then I'd love to talk to you, so please do come and find me in the interval. That's all I'm going to tell you about what we do. As I say, there's some incredible, amazing, inspiring stuff led by some brilliant people. We're just down the road from here, and it's amazing that the Extra Inch, the Jolly Gardeners, and all of you have come here to support us. Every drink you buy, every burger you buy, everything you eat here tonight, the pub gives us a cut of that. Part of your ticket price will go to us, and it will really make a difference. So if you can give more, great. If not, you've already made a huge difference. I'd like to thank you very much for being here, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rich, and thank you to all of you. You know, it does make a genuine difference. Rich has shown us the premises. What they achieve there is quite incredible for the local community. Also, they got some football pitches, Bardi, and you had a kick about earlier.
They do. It was a good game. I do. It was nice to be able to play in kind of cool conditions. This time last year, it was sweaty and it was hot, and it wasn't really the right kind of it wasn't the right conditions for quick passing football. But it was a good game today.
Can any of them play left centre back?
No, I don't think so. No, we're all kind of box to boxes.
Got too many of them.
Yeah.
So there were quite a few Daniel Levy chants in the last two matches.
Honestly, as I said earlier, I couldn't believe how strong the anti-Levy sentiment is, and it always goes hand in hand with like you lose games, it just comes up because it's an easy target to talk about, and because Postecoglou is such an endearing person, and we were talking after the football about his post-match comments. Now, a previous manager from the old boot, had he lost two big games in a row, he would have just gone crazy and just murdered everybody in a press conference. Whereas Postecoglou, he's a gentleman, he's a nice guy, and he spoke really well. So it's almost like the fans don't really want to turn against him vocally at the ground. So Daniel Levy's the easy target.
100%. I think Ange being so likable means that the coach can't be a shield for the chairman at the moment. And man, the way he talks, we went out of both cups within a few days of each other, and I was like, wow, this is not working out. This is like, he's probably going to get the sack. And then he spoke after the game. I'm like, we got to stick with this guy. You know, he speaks so well.
I don't fall for this propaganda. I'm not getting sucked in by it. But he spoke really nicely and he spoke really well, and it's refreshing to see that. But it still doesn't excuse him getting battered all the time. He needs to sort that out.
I feel like that was as far as Ange would go towards a Conte moment. That was his Conte moment. That was his version of a Conte moment. But because he's such a decent person, and because he is quite honest and straightforward, and also I think prepared to take on some of the blame, I think he stopped short of kind of calling the board out. But basically, what he was saying is, this is the situation I'm in that has been created by the club. Is this?
But the thing is, Daniel Levy is obviously heavily to blame. But I don't think there's anything we can do. Like, maybe we can march, maybe we can do this, but it doesn't seem to be the energy yet at the moment anyway to do it. The Man United game, I think there's a walkout or a sit down or something. I don't know. I think Ricky Sachs is doing something with it. Anyway, there's something happening there with it, and I don't know what's going on. Sorry. So there's something happening in the Man United game. I don't know. There needs to be a real groundswell of it needs to change. Singing some songs is not going to make a difference. And yeah, I don't know how you get Daniel Levy out. I don't know how you do it.
I've been very frustrated with Levy. I think there's been poor work at the club for the last 5-6 years. I thought that we have underinvested in the summer, and then I was frustrated throughout January because we desperately needed players in and we weren't getting players in. But then we ended the window by spending actually quite a fair amount of money. And it makes me go, okay, but how much more did you realistically want to get done in January? Like, you want 5 senior players done in the January window? It's
well,
just
we
not
nearly
really
signed
done,
Mark
right?
Gay.
Sure, but we went for it, if you want Gay at least. And so, again, he's definitely not done a great job over the last 5-6 years, but recently we started to make the right steps in the right direction in terms of overhauling the way the football operations are run and buying young players. And so, I don't know, literally as recently as a couple of weeks ago, I was the most sympathetic I've been towards the Levy out movement than I ever have been. And then we bought 3 players, that kind of does it. And then we've got to say, okay, let's see how that goes.
Do you know, Enoch out has creeped into every single part of my life. Instagram, I get direct messages from people with nothing to do with football going, get him out. Strava. That was a new one for me. I went out and ran. Someone commented on my Strava run, Enoch, he's got to get out. I'm like, I just ran 10K, leave me alone. I'm like, yeah, it's amazing. Teams messages at work, not Tom or Kian over there, but people always, Enoch out is chasing me all the time. It's like that. What's the film with the big balloon that chases you around the village? That's it, The Prisoner. Enoch out is like the prisoner balloon.
So I asked at the start how many people were Ange out. How many people in this room are Levy out?
Quite a few.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, I'd say 50-50. I mean, this is the thing, right? Like it's...
What does that mean? What do you mean when you say that? What does that mean?
Yeah, it's so hard to sort of pin what do you mean by that? What do we mean by Levy out? Do we mean we want someone to come in and buy the club? In which case, what are we actually asking for there? Because that doesn't sound like it's going to be too great either. I think what we mean is we want to sign good players early in windows, right? That's as simple as it is. We want to sign good players early in winter. We couldn't really have signed many more players in January because we didn't have the squad space for it. So unless we're going to sell a bunch as well, it would have been a problem. So I feel like what Nathan said earlier is right, because Ange is so likeable. Levy is the lightning rod at the moment. He's the one that's getting all the hate from the Spurs fans because we're all really angry and frustrated.
And don't get me wrong, like I'm not sympathetic for Daniel Levy. Like I'm not putting myself in front of Daniel Levy saying leave him alone. Like absolutely not.
No, he deserves the pressure. He deserves
100%.
every inch of the pressure
For all of the mistakes he's made again over the last several years, and to be fair, we've not like raised the wage bill in the last window, have we? And that needs to be done. Desperately, that needs to be done.
I felt like you were going to say something there, Bardi.
No.
Okay. No. So yeah, we've covered the Villa game. We've covered the sentiment around Ange. We've covered Levy. Get your thinking caps on. If you've got questions for us later, we'd love to have them. We're going to have a short break now, and then Nathan will be back with his PowerPoint presentation. And then we'll do a long Q&A and tackle everything you've got to throw at us.
And there's the question, what player from the 90s would save our season? If you've got an answer for that.
All right. Eat and drink and be merry.
Cool.
Test. Hello. How we doing? All right. So, recently, in the Liverpool and the Brentford games, we've played in more of a sort of a medium block, you'll have noticed. And so I thought it'd be interesting to look at some of the defensive shape on display in those games. So starting here, Richarlison's starting on the number 6. Oh, can I get the video to play? There we go. Starting on the number 6. So here you can see sort of a medium block and Liverpool building with a back 2. And then as Richarlison goes out to press, I'm just kidding. We're going to be doing Mathys Tel. Look at these stats. Aren't these good? Wow. Yeah. The thing is, yeah. Well, we haven't bought him, have we? No. Oh, okay. Well, if Ange says something, and he's definitely going to be the coach in a relevant period of time. The thing is, these numbers are hugely inflated by playing for Bayern Munich and coming on as a sub at sort of 85 minutes on the regular, right? And so anyone, including myself, who has misled you into thinking that Tel is the finished package is wrong. And you've kind of already seen it against Villa, right? You enjoyed the performance, Bardi?
I thought it was good.
I think that is maybe not the consensus. I think some people thought it was a bit rough. Maybe tried things too much, and we'll see some of that in what we're going to look at. But having said that, there are things about this player that really, really excite me. And so That is what we're going to look at here.
That's a lot of pie as well, though. That's
a lot of pie.
thing.
The bit that I really the bit that did me wrong is the yellow up here, the dribbles. He's not really a dribbly winger. So Ange, play him up top. All right. He scores goals. Let's look at some goals. All right, so here is our guy playing in the centre. I think he's playing up against the back three here, or at least situationally he is. And he's central, and then he pulls the central centre-back with him, but then there's a little trade over, and he goes way over towards the ball and brings the right centre-back with him. For me, he comes too far over here. It's like he's offering the short pass option. I don't really know why. And then he runs back away again. Ball goes over his head, and he's just there in the right spot as the ball comes in. And it's just good reactions, right? There's nothing much more to say than that, in my opinion. He's only played so much football. He's only scored so many goals. So you've probably seen most of or all of these goals already, because I know you lot, you're watching your highlights, right? You're cheating on me with other analysts, yeah? But hopefully we'll see a new angle of how things are in these goals as we watch them together. All right, here we go. So turnover in midfield. Boo. Okay, so there's going to be a few clips of Harry Kane. So get your booing out your system now. Boo. Yeah, boo, done. Snakes. No, okay, and there's going to be more Kane. All right. Ball comes to him and slot. So we'll go back to that one. There's a few things I want to say. So the placement on the shot, right? He goes into kind of goes across the keeper, but he's going into the defender. In my opinion, a slightly dodgy decision. And also, the placement isn't like properly tucked into the corner, right? But I reckon he hits this ball really fucking hard.
I'm okay with that.
And pretty early, yeah?
Kane speaks a lot about hitting across the goal through people's legs. I'm okay with that.
And so, yeah, basically, while there's sort of technical errors with that goal, it works. All right. So we're coming in off the left. A bit of a fight for the ball. Does all right, especially given that he's 19. Weird loose ball situation in the box. Yay, and he rifles it in. So we'll get a replay angle here, because again, I want to show the main point I'm going to be hammering.
Is that it is a farmers' league. Look at it. Look at that defending.
Don't worry too much about the defending. So for some reason, no pressure on the shot from 3 yards out. Don't worry about that. That's fine. Villa do that all the time, right? But with that said, one more angle here. Yeah, okay, there should be pressure on the shot, but it is the speed with which he's able to generate a hell of a lot of power that the keeper's just not ready for it. Bang. Okay, corner here, loose ball on the edge. He's about to do something wrong, technically wrong. He takes a big, heavy touch towards the pressure. A lot of time you're going to lose the ball doing that. Maybe we can have another look at the defending comment for that one as well, eh? But then, the power. Fucking hell.
Hello.
So I want to see the reverse angle here. Here we go. So big aggressive touch, and then power with minimal backlift. And we can see from the keeper's angle, he's probably somewhat unsighted to it, which does him a favour. But again, speed of shot and power. A similar story here. Muller's through on goal, but can't quite get the shot off. And then it's just in his stride, powerful and placement. Yeah, we saw, was it Kulusevski did this the other day? It's an undefended net, the keeper's out of goal. But it's the power in his strides. He doesn't have to take a touch and think about it. He just smashes that in. This one, I think, is a friendly, but I wanted to include it because we're well wide of goal, and we're going to go inside foot through the keeper. Who does that remind me of? Someone said it already, Son. Power of inside foot across the keeper. That, for me, is a very Son-like finish. We'll watch it again. You probably shouldn't be shooting there, right? Because there's probably a pass to the far post, or you can cut back and try and fight. No.
When you said, who does it remind me of, I actually thought Brennan Johnson. That's like his kind of finish, but he wouldn't shoot there. He would cross.
Fair enough. Or Defoe, yeah, I can see that. All right. Starting with the replay angle, you gonna boo again, or?
No boo.
Okay.
Look
So
how
Kane-
much space he's got.
Oh, it's walking football.
So it's on a plate for him here, right? Yeah. Woo.
Harry Kane looks fast in that division.
It's all that electroacupuncture that's done for him, huh? So it's already kind of on a plate for him, but I want to show again. More on the replay, we'll see.
That's a good goal.
It's a lovely goal.
His instep
Touch.
finishes are very impressive.
He buys himself a yard, yeah, good point. But it's touch, shot. Keeper's not ready for the shot. It's like it's on the offbeat. It's not in the rhythm of his step. So he's going step, shot. Okay, so this is worth pointing out probably also, right? We are at 91 minutes into the 90 plus 4. Is it Man United? I think it's Man United. Yeah. And yeah, fucking defending on display here, Wendy. Oh my goodness. But that's kind of the case, right? Because United are a goal down. They're not really actively defending. They're just waiting for their chance to have their last attack of the game. Come on, hurry up and have your attack so we can have our attack. And that's very much on display here. So no pressure on the ball here. Defenders just sort of walking around. A bunch of attackers aren't active in the defense. They're just waiting to counter. He makes a blindside run.
That's good. That's really good.
Really good,
Really
right?
good.
Anana's not happy with himself. Okay, hang on.
He's a good goalkeeper.
He's a good goalkeeper.
He's a good
There you go.
goalkeeper.
I was waiting for that. Come on, replay. Here we are. So yeah, no pressure on the player with the ball. Sneaks in behind United as they're stepping forwards. But the technique here takes it on the thigh and then on the bounce. And this is, again, that same recurring theme, right? Rather than killing the ball dead or trying to shoot first time when the ball's behind him, he works with the bounce and then the shot. I'm a bit late on the pause.
Hits it on the up.
Yeah. He hasn't got his standing foot in support of the shot. He's
Exactly like that.
exactly like that. But he's generating so much power and plenty of accuracy whilst being off balance and reaching for the ball.
Nathan, you know, none of these are like goals I think wingers score. None of this makes me think he's a winger.
Sure, yeah. He's a fox. Okay, can he jump? Yes, he can jump. Yay. He's not fantastic in the air, but for a 19-year-old to show this level of physicality is promising going forward, I think. All right, again, this is like dead rubber time. We're 3 goals up against Werder Bremen. He's sort of the only player sort of actively running around at this time because he wants to, farm goals. Okay, should he be shooting from here? Okay. I feel like I'm just going to, any time I ask that, you already know that we're showing goals, so it doesn't... Okay. he's under pressure. He's at an awkward angle. And again, he's having to reach for the ball. His standing foot isn't quite in support. But look at the power.
Not the corner I was expecting that goal to go in.
No, it's...
Expected the
looper.
far post curler, yeah.
Go on, you want to watch that again? You can see how dead the game is, and he's just a sort of a tempo change, right? And again, it's touch shot.
Minimal backlift again.
Yeah. All right. And then here we are as the number 9. Going to have a bit of a loose ball situation, and then just first time. And again, standing foot is away from the ball. About here, yeah, standing foot away from the ball. It's kind of a little bit behind him. He's kind of reaching for it, but he wraps around the ball, and the keeper is not expecting the shot. Same again, right? And I think you can see that in the Villa goal, is that, he's reaching, and it's like outside of his right foot as he's reaching outwards to it. This tool that he has available to him, which is power and accuracy without backlift. All right. This one I wanted to show you because it amuses me a lot. We've got a 4v2 counter. Yeah. This is like Villa.
Whoa, look at that.
That defender that came out to meet the ball then. Replay that.
We'll get the replay. Hang on. All right. So,
What's he doing?
it's a little benticle. Okay, so this pass here out onto the right, that's a pretty nice pass, right? And then this pass forwards, that would be pretty good, although you're not changing the lateral angle, it could get under the player's feet. For me, this pass out to the left, let me run it on a little further. This is like the ultimate pass, right?
No. I don't want him passing there. Shoot!
This is the 0.8 expected goals pass.
That's the Guardiola pass. No, we don't want to see that.
I think not playing this pass is like a benchable offence.
Is Timo Werner the left winger in that situation?
Okay, all right. Imagine that Son. Not the Son that we saw against Villa. Imagine that Son from 2 years ago, right? And he doesn't play this pass. But it's fine because fucking hell.
Doesn't need it.
Doesn't need it. That's his weak foot. Again, he's kind of away from the ball. And thoughts on the keeper, Bardi?
Soft. But Harry Kane wouldn't pass there either. I don't think Harry Kane passes that.
No. He's selfish. He's a selfish player, but
I'm okay with that. If he scores goals, I'm all right with that.
Is that all of them? Did we show this one already?
3 minutes in as well.
Yeah.
Big game. Seen that.
Yeah, all right. So that's the main thing he does, in my opinion. Oh dear, I'm lost. Where am I?
We're all watching you use your Mac.
Sorry. Oh God. Oh no.
Not that folder.
All right. He has created chances for others. In my opinion, he doesn't do it enough. In my opinion, he's an incredibly selfish player. And the thing with that is that I've just shown you him score a bunch of goals, and so you'll be like, that's good, it's fine, he should. He doesn't always score them, right? The thing is, I think he's really good at creating chances for others. He just doesn't look for it enough. I want to show you the skills that he has available to him for the act of creating chances for others. And if you can coach him to look for these plays more often, I think that there can be a really, really good chance creator there, whether he's playing left or centre or wherever. and even on the right in some of these. All right, we're wide left. We can get to the byline. We like a player who can get to the byline on the left. Yeah. So takes on 2, goes outside, passing to feet, doesn't force it. Very nice. All right, here we are against Galatasaray. Fun little treat for Spurs fans. That's Harry Kane. And
is that Davinson?
That's Davinson Sanchez. Is that 2 meters, Spardy, between?
He's gonna make that tackle. Watch, he's gonna intercept it.
Yeah.
Next Ledley, I heard.
Yeah. Oh, what a throwback!
I mean, he's throwing dirt now.
So yeah, I mean, it's not a difficult pass, but it's well executed, right? All right, on the right. Am I going to go inside? Am I going to go outside? Little stud roll. And then again, like with his shots, this is like an off-balance cross, right? He's reaching for this ball, and he just dinks it. It's a little high for Choupo-Moting, who does well with it. But it's, again, that sort of... There's not a lot of tell that the cross is... There's not a lot of signs the cross is coming. He just plucks it out on the offbeat. Okay, trying to turn it around against Lazio. We're on the right. Takes on 2 players. He just digs out the early cross. Not an assist this time, but a nice cross under pressure, I think. And here, in fact, we're a man down and 2 goals down. Really need to try and make something happen. He's a selfish player. So there's a pass on to Kane here. There's a cutback. What does he do? He forces a shot that isn't there and he gets blocked. However, the ball's aligned afterwards and he just tucks it through to Kane. So there's your assist. But that's the example of him being selfish. A lot of his shots get blocked because he's just trying to make them happen when they're not on. But at least he's alive for the second ball. Later in the same game, the comeback is still on. We're wide left and we just pluck out a cross for Kane. Unfortunately, serial choker, I reckon. Yeah. Typical. All right, wide left. How's your cross? Goes outside. Weak foot. Oh, no good. But you see the quality of his crossing is there, I think. Where are we here? Oh, so this one I like. It's a bit different. We're wide right. Beats the player on the inside, and then it's just a pass through, right? It doesn't always have to be a big, fancy cross. Sometimes just a nice little pass into the box will do it. Yeah, that's a nice finish, isn't it? Another cross with no warning, but Kane can't take a boot. It's on the plate for a minute. Yeah, that guy sucks, huh? This is the first one again. No, it's not. There we go. So again, not a lot of warning that the cross is coming. Just a slight adjustment, makes a yard for himself. Here's the cross, bam. And it's a far post cross, right? It's power on it. There you go. Yeah. Johnson will feast on them, won't he? All right. Let's take a look. I mean, you've kind of already seen that he didn't, take the Villa game for us from the left wing. I got some clips here. I'm going to let them run. This is against Slovan Bratislava, and there's a few reasons I chose these clips. One is that he played on the left wing, so we can have a look at him on the left wing. One is that he actually started the game, which is quite rare for him. And the other is that Slovan Bratislava are fucking terrible, right? So he's going to look good. We can let these run. Do you have questions?
No.
No,
Well, I like the fact that he was celebrating before and it didn't even go in. I enjoyed that optimism.
You're going to see a couple of them shots where he just shoots immediately into pressure because he wants to. And there was a clip going around of his last 19 shots, which is not a thing, where there's a bunch of him, just a couple of these where he just balloons them into shins.
I think the standout thing for me, just to go full Harry Brooks for a moment, is he oozes personality. Like, he really feels himself. And I think we've really lacked someone recently who backs themselves in these situations. Like, he's good at hero ball. At the moment, that is going to be extremely useful. Potentially there's a strong end of season for him.
He clearly backs himself. And I think him being like, oh, I could sit on the bench at Bayern for 5 years and earn plenty of money and occasionally score goals when I come on. Or I can say, no, I want to play first team football and, take, frankly, a significant now step down to Spurs for first team football to make a name of himself. He has that, the arrogance of youth. Absolutely.
Like, the technical ability in terms... So, I think the phrase technical ability is one that gets used in a number of ways, but what I mean by that specifically here...
And he defends.
...is his ball striking.
That's a smart foul.
The different parts of his foot that he finishes with give him options. So he obviously really fancies the instep finish and cross, as we've seen there. But we saw laces finishes. We saw an outside of the boot finish against Villa. That
Take a look at this shot. Look at this.
As a 9.
Oh, now we don't like that he shoots, huh? That's a good Werner impression, I reckon. Different things, Tell more of a goal scorer, Oliver more of a provider, I think.
So I think the thing that stood out to me with him against Villa was how out of sync he was with the rest of the team, which obviously is...
He's trying to make things happen, right?
Yeah.
He's used to playing for Bayern where you're already 5-1 up when you come on.
Absolutely. And playing in a different style. I mean, he made run after run after run in behind.
Yeah.
And our wingers don't really do that. They come short for the ball, they receive defeat, then they lay it off, and then they run in behind.
Yeah.
So it's going to take some time for him to connect with the rest of the team. And he was getting a bit frustrated when the ball wasn't coming. There was a lot of gesturing and throwing his hands up. That I can imagine that body language is going to be annoying for some. But frankly, when he does connect, if he does connect, he looks like he could be prolific.
Shall we open our questions up for everyone else?
Do it.
I'll let this run, I guess.
We're going to do the competition first. Does anyone have an answer or a player that they would like to suggest that would save our season? A player from the 90s. We got one that Lena. We got a roving or a roaming mic. Yeah.
Stefan Freund, Bardi.
That wasn't who I was thinking of, and that's rejected.
Is
so
this
I
the game we're
apologise.
playing? Name the player I'm thinking of.
Well, no, but I would you got to sell it a bit more than just the greatest number 6. No, I don't think so. I don't think Stefan Freund. No.
Okay.
We've got
I
another.
have a Stefan Freund.
Let's hear it. Klinsmann is a good shout. I don't know if he would. I think we've got between Solanke and Tel. Klinsmann.
He literally was our saviour.
He was. You're at the moment. You're in pole position.
I think there's a chance that you're going to get outvoted, mate.
It always happens on this podcast.
Someone had the balls to say it.
I said to Wendy, I'm going to say Sol Campbell just to piss people off.
You got beaten to it.
But Wendy was like, you can't say that. And I'm like, stop censoring me, Wendy. So Sol Campbell would help us a lot. But for the sake of who we are as a football club, I can't give a book for Sol Campbell. We've got one. Gary Mabbutt's a good call. I'm not sure how we'd cope in build-up. We have a couple more so far. What do you reckon is winning?
I like Mabbutt. I don't think Mabbutt would be an issue in build-up, but his recovery pace might be a slight problem.
Yeah. Paul Gascoigne's a good shout. How do you think Paul Gascoigne would he come into our team and save us?
How do you think modern coaches feel about you being on a bender the night before the game?
So we're going Mabbutt at the moment is winning, yeah?
Okay.
With Mabbutt.
Yeah, I'm down for some Mabbutt action.
Got to. Oh. Here we got it. Yes, that's the one. That's exactly what I was, thinking of.
Fair play.
There we go.
Wonderful.
Dags and Bardi are on the same wavelength.
It was
podcast to link up there.
Popescu he's an incredible number 6, an incredible centre back. Who like when did Spurs in the 90s ever sell a player to Barcelona? is he in prison or is he dead? What happened to him?
Well, those are the two options.
No, but I think he went to prison. He went to prison, didn't he? Or I just made it up.
You didn't
Did you have a dream about this?
No, I'm pretty sure he got banged up. He did go to prison. Thank you. I'm just there. You go. I thought so.
So is that the correct answer?
That's the correct answer. Is Giga Popescu.
Okay.
Yes.
Lovely stuff. Okay.
What does he win?
Oh, he wins a copy of the book.
Very generous.
Then we get the chap who said Mabbutt. Who said Mabbutt? There we go. The copy of the book is yours. Gareth's also got other copies at the back if you'd like to buy a copy.
All right.
All right. Does anyone else have a question?
Those weren't questions, they were answers.
Rich has got a question. He's warned me about this because he's gone back and listened to the live show we did last summer where we all predicted a top 4 finish and a cup, amongst other things.
I was going to say I like a person that keeps receipts.
Oh, God.
There we go. Hello.
Not totally out of the question.
I know ball.
Because everyone else is dead. So.
Well, I think I actually said Bergwijn will push Maddison, replace Maddison out of the team.
Oh. Oh no.
Literally got a round of applause.
I cut it there, that'll do.
Ange said I'm not allowed to blame any players at the moment. I have to...
Okay, so for the benefit of the podcast listeners, that wouldn't have been picked up. So let me just repeat that. So the hot takes that we made last summer...
Look how you're repeating them because yours was good. If it wasn't good, we'd have just moved on to the next question. I don't know you.
Yes, that is true. The hot takes were, Bardi said that Bergwijn would replace Maddison's number 10 and Archie Gray would make an England squad. I said that Jed Spence would be a dark horse for getting some minutes. And Nathan said that Yves Bissouma would win over the respect of Spurs fans.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need to fess up on this as well, Nathan, to be fair.
Yeah.
So when we were sat here in August, my friend Mushtaq was sat in the corner over there, and he said to us, I've got a real concern with our midfield. We don't have enough in midfield. Bissouma and Bentancur are not number 6s. And you and I were very dismissive of that. We were very dismissive of the fact that Bissouma is not number 6. We thought, no, do you know what? He's the right man for this job. I feel differently about that now. Do you?
Yeah. I've kind of posted on social media that I've kind of given up on Bissouma now, and probably the last Spurs fan in the world to do so. He absolutely has the tools. His defensive output statistically continues to be, almost Cardoso high, but his tracking and awareness is all over the shop, and the limits of his passing range are really frustrating. maybe we're down to a game a week, get some freshness, things pick up, but I'm not feeling optimistic about that, I think. And it's like, obviously you're in a situation where we need change in our number 6 position. Would you sell Basuma and Bentancur in the same window than bring in 2 number 6s?
Yes.
It's a lot of turnover. It's a lot of change.
It is and it isn't. I just think both of them are fine in certain circumstances. We're getting to a point now where we can't just have players that fit certain matches only. We need players that can do the job in all manner of circumstances, and neither of them can.
Don't ask me about the market for number 6s right now.
Douglas Luiz was available in January.
Yeah, okay.
Another question coming. Has anyone else got?
Good question. So the question was, Jed Spence hadn't played much at all. Now he is. He looks great. Will we hang on to him when he gets tapped up? How do you feel about that, Bardi? Is Jed Spence the kind of player that will get tapped up?
At some point, a bigger team. Well, at some point, a team that's consistent in the Champions League. If we're not, we'll go for Jed Spence. The fact that he's so flexible, he can play either side. He's an incredible footballer. I think that's a good problem to have. I think if Spence drops another season like that, if he does a full season next year like this, I think it's a really nice problem to have, and one that I'm not too worried about right now.
I think he's obviously waited a long time to get games at Spurs. I suspect he's probably pretty happy for now, at least, getting minutes. It will be interesting once Udogie's back, and obviously we're down to fewer games, what the rotation looks like. And I suppose for next season, assuming we're not in Europe, which could still do. We just have to win the Europa League. It's fine. I believe that was in our predictions.
That was my prediction.
Yeah.
Top 4 in Europa League.
How that looks minutes wise. But I think if you go in with those 3 fullbacks, there should be enough minutes for him. And I don't know. We don't tend to sell up much nowadays. Obviously, if you just looked at the league table, you'd be like, oh, there are so many better teams you could play for, but that's not how it works, and not how wages works, and not how prestige works. We only sell players upwards, rarely, and for enormous sums for the most part now. So I don't think we're going to see a lot of those moves nowadays. Romero maybe in the summer is coming perhaps, but that'll be the first one in several years.
I think there's a lot of space for Jed Spence in the squad.
Yeah.
If we're going to do some business in the summer, so let's say Romero goes, I think there's a wide acceptance that there's a high probability that Romero goes in the summer. We've just said that we would sell Bentancur and Basuma. That's a lot of critical players who are also sort of more experienced players. I'm not saying Spence is experienced, but he's actually not that young anymore. He's like 24, I think. Compared to a lot of our squad players, that's middle-aged, basically. So it's really important that we keep Spence and create space for him. And I think the fact that he can play either side is really helpful for him. It means there's plenty of minutes on the table. Another season for him to get his feet under the table and become a really critical part of the team, which, to be honest, I think he is already.
Great. Another question?
God.
So that was if Ange were to get fired now, would we prefer Ryan Mason to come in for a third term, or would we prefer a more divisive character like Sherwood to come in?
Oh, by the way, Cole, can you just keep an eye on the news for us in case he does get sacked in the middle of us? Yeah, nice one.
I mean, I don't think the last thing we need is a divisive person like Sherwood. I think, but then I don't want Mason to get a job either.
Because you hate him.
He's a snake. He's an albatross. I think Ange should probably be sacked, but I think we just got to ride it out. We've got to ride this season out, and as long as relegation isn't something that looks possible, which I don't think it is. I think we've got to ride out this season when Postecoglou come to the summer and just have an agreement with him and he walks away because it's not worked. Unless, all of a sudden it sparks into life and then holy shit, we go on a run of 10 games or something. Yeah,
the only reason to sack him now is that you've got the next guy lined up.
Yeah, I mean, if he's not getting sacked after getting knocked out of 2 cups in a week, he's not going to get sacked.
Yeah, exactly.
What if we get all the players back and then we play abysmal football for 4 weeks?
Still rubbish.
Then he might get sacked.
Then he might get sacked.
But
he
again,
deserves it.
if there's no one to come in other than Ryan Mason, what's the point?
Sure.
What's the point? I think that there has to be someone lined up. There has to be someone who is the next guy, I think, for them to pull the trigger. And the benefit for us as a club is the next guy then gets a couple of months ahead of time to assess the squad, try a few things, get used to the environment ahead of pre-season. But the benefit to the next guy, it's like, why would you join a basket case club like Spurs at this time? There's very little upside.
The coaches I like are all in jobs right now, It's one for the summer.
Here we go. This is a big question. This is...
You're going to have to repeat this. Dom, do you want to come up here and say it to the microphone for the podcast listeners? Come on.
Go on, Dom.
Right. So this question is primarily for Windy, as I know that Bardi... Okay. This week and next week for the squad is the first free game week since the 10th of November. Sounds crazy, right? Well, that's actually not true because that was internationals. The real free week we last had was Sunday, the 1st of September. Quite an incredible long stretch with just 14 tired players. This mad last 2.5 months that Ange was talking about on Sunday has meant minimal training. Ali Gold has been keeping track of training, and all the players, all they've been doing is just recovery and gym work. He's had no chance to do any debrief meetings on the Monday. He's had no chance to get onto the training pitch or fix any of the issues like the pressing structure or the off-the-ball positional problems of Basuma and Bentancur. So my question is, if we now get these injured players back over the next 10 days, we get back to a cohesive unit, we smash United and Ipswich.
Hey.
Is there any chance that you let Ange ball wash over you and you get back in our corner again?
Can we have a round of applause for the question? Thank you, Dom. Very well said. Do you know, I've been over this so many times in my head because I really wanted this to work, and I still do. I really like Ange. When we played good football at the start, I was really excited. And I really liked the front foot stuff. I loved the playing out from the back. Even though it makes my dad feel sick, I love it. I like the fact that he has a pressing structure, although in recent weeks I've come to realize that I don't actually like the detail of that. And so, when I had my moment of, fuck, I actually don't think this is going to work, I found it quite hard. I hit that point really early with Mourinho, for obvious reasons. And I hit that point quite early with Conte, but it took me longer with Ange because I like him as a guy. But the reasons I don't think it's going to work with Ange are I don't think he's adaptable. In a weird way, I think he is quite similar to Mourinho and Conte.
Wow.
Like, not obviously in terms of his style of play,
Okay.
but who he is as a person, like his stoicism and his stubbornness. His ultimate self-belief is both a strength and a weakness. And I don't see him changing, and I think he needs to change. I don't think this is going to work. And the reason I don't think it's going to work is I don't think we can keep Romero and Van de Ven fit for the rest of his tenure. And if he doesn't have Romero and Van de Ven, I don't think he's got a basis for what he's trying to do.
But in the hypothetical of the question, like if we won the Europa League, if we went on like, I don't know, decent to good form in the league and won Europa League, could he win you back? What would it take for him to win you back from now until the end of the season?
I'd roll over for 3 points. I would. But I'd roll over and let him tickle my belly. I don't care if winning games is what I like, what I want to happen. And if we win the Europa League, if he wins the Europa League, he gets a statue. He's like our greatest manager since the 80s. That's incredible. So if he wins games, then I will be fully back Ange in. I'm that easily swayed with him.
Yeah, if he wins the Europa League, obviously, like, fucking hell, like...
Amazing.
Changes everything. But he's not going to win the Europa League. He's not. Like, we don't... I don't know. I struggle game to game to feel like we're going to do anything. Like, even the Brentford game where... Obviously, we got a result. A lot of people were very happy about the Brentford game because it kind of showed a change in philosophy. It didn't to me. I thought they just outplayed us, essentially. I need to see more before I'm bought into it again. I'm sorry, like, I know it's such a doomer response. I really don't enjoy being this way or feeling this way about our club or our manager. It's not what I want, but it's what I feel.
We got a question at the back.
Great question. So the question was, who's more important to get back, Romero or Solanke? Or other?
I think now Tel is here. I think we can maybe get away with no Solanke for a little bit, and Romero's more important. So now we've got Tel in, because if we had to go the rest of the season with Son as a 9 or Richarlison playing 20 minutes here and there, then it would be a disaster. But with Tel, I think we can afford Solanke to come back a little bit later. Romero, for me, is more important.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think Romero. And the thing with that is obviously we brought in a right-sided centre-back. And so you might be tempted to say Van de Ven, especially, recovery pace and all that. But realistically, it's Romero to fix our build-up play.
I know Romero got a lot of criticism at the start of the season because he made some mistakes. I think him and Maddison, I think, are our best players, to be honest.
Maddison's right up there for me too.
Yeah, but I just want to linger on Solanke for a second. Has Solanke been our player of the season?
Kulusevski.
I feel like Solanke has got a shout for player of the season. I feel like a lot of his work is unheralded but really important, and I think the question makes a good point that Solanke plays a critical role in the team, and we press from the front. It's really important that we press from the front, and he does it. It's not just that he runs a lot. Like, that is good. Running a lot is good. It's that he's good at pressing. Like, he sticks to instruction brilliantly. He makes decisions in the moment brilliantly, and he's really important for what we're trying to do in the defensive part of our game. I do think Solanke is a shout for our player of the year.
No, I just had a quick question about. I was struck by. I don't know how many of you watched the Super Bowl last night, and the Philadelphia Eagles absolutely smacking Kansas City Chiefs, and it sort of made me think of last year when The Eagles went sort of 7-1, and then they just collapsed. And Nick Sirianni, who's the head coach, was maybe going to get fired, maybe not. And he ended up firing both his offensive coordinator and his defensive coordinator, and they brought in new offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators. And we've seen all the sort of chat about, putting up the medical team up on LinkedIn and all that sort of thing. And we know that Ange has not been a manager that's ever really stuck to a consistent coaching team. He's always sort of brought people on new and fresh. Is there a question that our backroom staff are just genuinely terrible? And we need a massive clear out. Because it could just be that we need a new backroom staff and new medical team because, there's something that's not right, and it might not be Ange himself.
Fucking hell. I think that might be true, to be honest.
If Ange just comes in and fires Mason, fires Jedinak, fires the doctor, I'd be well on board with that. It'd be great. That'd be so good.
Scorched earth.
Just boots them out. I'd really like that. Someone was telling me Tanganga's played 48 consecutive games at Millwall in proper potato leagues, where they properly
kick each other.
Kick each other all the games.
Do you know?
And at Spurs, he was always injured.
I feel like Spurs fans at the moment are dunking on the medical staff so much, and the medical staff they have such a tough time in football. The pressures on them to ready players to play when managers and players are demanding to play all the time. It's like, guys, we can't do this. We can't just dunk on these poor people. I think the coaching staff is a thing that needs to be discussed. And obviously we don't know. We don't see training day to day. But what we know is that Ange works with different people at every club, and therefore there is a level of importance placed upon the people he works with. Because he's the communicator of a message, a philosophy, an idea, and he's stood at the side of the training ground, but he's not the one doing the drills. He's not even designing the drills. He delegates the designing of the drills to the coaching staff.
Are you absolutely certain of that? Okay.
Yeah. He is there as a figurehead. He does a lot of talking to the players in a team aspect. What I've been told is that he doesn't have one-to-one conversations with players basically ever. He doesn't deliver one-to-one feedback. He delegates that part of his role. So I think we do probably need to look at the coaching staff and question them as well. We lost Chris Davis at the start of the year, supposedly a really highly rated coach, and that will have had a huge impact. We brought in Nick Montgomery, who...
Set piece guru.
Set piece guru. What do we think of our set pieces at the moment?
They're fine.
They're fine.
They're a lot better than they were.
Yeah, they're not terrible.
No.
They're fine.
They're fine within a Premier League context, right?
Okay.
So that's good.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Is it good for a club with our resources to have fine set pieces? I don't think that's good.
Okay. Yeah.
Bring back Gio.
I would.
And we got last question?
How are we doing? Last question.
Last question over there. Will he be sacked before the end of the season? And who will be the next Spurs manager?
So he said before the end of this season, in the summer, or will he see at least the start of a third season? And then who? And the other question is, who will be the next coach?
Well, let's do raised hands. Who thinks he'll go before the end of the season?
Just a couple of hands.
A handful of
3,
people.
4.
Who thinks he'll go in the summer?
John.
Quite a few more people. And who thinks he gets a third season?
Wow.
A good number of people think he'll get a third season. I think he'll go in the summer.
Probably, yeah.
I think he goes in the summer as well. And Discord today, when Discord is always they got their finger on the pulse. They said Simone Inzaghi is coming. Discord is great, by the way. If you're not in Discord, you've got to get in there.
So who will be the next manager, Nathan?
My preference would be Sebastian Hoeneß, who's at Stuttgart. So I'm saying that will definitely be what happens.
Did you see? I don't know if we can say this in the pod. We might have to edit this out. Did you see the ITK in the Discord about Andoni Iraola?
No, go on.
Go on. What's this ITK?
So someone said that their dad was in a WhatsApp group.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
It's how all good
which
ITK starts.
His mates told him that...
Wait.
Someone
The
who was
ITK
here.
person was here. He's gone. You mentioned it in his
Shit,
room.
the scene.
Could have got him on the mic.
He was sat on that stool.
Ethereal.
So anyway, his dad's heard that Spurs are tapping up Iraola, and the link was someone who works for New York City? Genoa. And I looked up all the Genoa coaches, and their assistant manager was at New York City at the same time as Andoni Iraola. So there is a possibility that this is legit. It's an extremely obscure shout. But the idea was that, we want Iraola for the summer.
It's not been on the ITK Discord channel, so I don't believe it yet. But Iraola would be an incredible manager. I really like. You're not keen, but I really like him.
I like him. I rate him. I just don't think he's a fit for Spurs.
And why is that, Nathan?
Because
Because he's good.
because he's good. Because his
Do you think he's
football's-
too chaotic?
Yeah, too chaotic. And also, by the way, Bournemouth have like a similar number of injuries to us right now, and that's playing one game a week most of the season, right? So imagine. It's not controlled football. I don't think it lends itself to being a team who, as ridiculous as it seems to say right now because of where we are, but if we want to, contend for league titles, I don't think that type of football lends itself to that. Again, he's doing really a remarkable job at Bournemouth, but I just don't think it translates that well to Spurs. Or not Spurs right now, because where are Bournemouth in the table?
Above us, I think.
Yeah, sure. That. Yeah. But I don't think it translates to us that well. Hey, I've got a question. Are Spurs going to be good again?
Yes, Spurs are going to be good again.
Tell us why.
I think Spurs are going to be great in 2 years.
2 years.
It's very specific. I think... So the reason I think Spurs...
Do you know how old I'm getting?
I know. Mate, tell me about it.
Jeez.
Tell me... 41 this week?
You?
40, yeah.
Yeah, he's young.
I think we have genuinely some of the best talent in Europe within our ranks.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously we've seen some of them. Bergvall, Gray, Spence, Mikey Moore. Some of these players are outrageous. Van de Ven. You add to that some of the quality coming through our academy. If they do get the opportunity that I really want them to, honestly, we are going to luck out. There's a player called Luca Williams-Barnett who is, in my opinion, as good, if not better, than Mikey Moore at the same age. Plays in a slightly different way. He is unbelievable. If you haven't looked up his name, seen some of his goals, just do a search on social media and you'll see some of his incredible goals for the under-18s. He is insane. Leo Black, Tyrese Hall, Jamie Donnelly. Did you see what Jamie Donnelly did against Man City? I mean, the guy is outrageous.
He scored that goal like twice before at youth level, and when I saw them, I was like, "Well, that's very good," but like that doesn't translate to adult football. Come on, settle. That's not an applicable skill.
Turns out it does.
Yeah.
The final thing I want to say is, like, will Spurs be good again? Of course they will, but I think what I've learned over the last year or so is that when we are good, I need to spend more time enjoying when we are good.
Yeah.
Such a good point, Barney.
I think we spend so much time. We spend so much time when we're like, oh yeah, we're good, but we could be even better. And I got sucked into that as well. We're in the Champions League final. I'm like, oh, but what if we don't win? It doesn't really matter. I think I need to spend more time enjoying the moments that are good, because we're all going to die eventually, and then the Spurs might not win the league.
Always fucking turns it around.
I can't. I need to see Spurs win the league before I go in there. God, it's got to happen, mate. It's got to happen. Please. Yeah, win anything.
And on that note, thank you everyone so much for turning up, giving up your Monday night. Honestly, it genuinely means such a lot to us that you're here. And the community around the podcast is kind of what motivates us. And you guys are awesome. Thank you so much.